on that note, let's go to final thoughts. So I want everybody to give their final thoughts on the story. Andrew, let us start with you.
Okay. So I just wanted to add what he was saying. I think that what the liberals don't have that the right wing does have is this mass messaging machine of talk radio. Like, if you look at the figures that they claim, and even if they're half of what they claim, talk radio has a way bigger audience than, all the newspapers. I mean, it just makes the audience look pathetic at the number of people that listen to talk radio. And I don't know, but the liberals have to find some way to counter that, I mean, maybe they're kind of working on that with Twitter and stuff, but yeah, so that's what I had to say about that.
Or YouTube?
Yeah, just that obviously the Democrats are doing better with social media, but the millions of people that still listen to Rush Limbaugh and Beck, and it's just depressing.
Well, I kind of want to address your point really quick before we go to Daniel's final thoughts. It's just the fact that you cannot trust the metrics that they use to rate that talk radio because they're...
No, it's true, yeah.
Yeah, it's just bullshit. Because they can't tell. But anyway, let's go with you, Daniel. We'll get your final thoughts on this.
All right, fine. If any of you out there that are listening are theists or are climate change deniers, don't drive your BMW. Don't pick up your cell phone. Don't touch your fucking iPad. Those are products of science and liberalism and progressivism. But you know what? Fine. If that's how you feel about it and you think that climate change is a hoax, take your car in the garage and take your dog/lover with you. Close the door, start the car. If you don't believe NOx, carbon dioxide are bad for your health, go right ahead. Well, what happened to Daddy? Why did he die in the garage? God's will.
They don't get antibiotics either, because, evolution.
Yes, medical science in general, right, yeah.
All right, Kyle, let's go with your final thoughts on this subject.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what I'd add to it. I mean, I'd just say that just remember the two facets to this story. Number one is that, of course, the religiosity is negatively correlated with a belief in science, which is disastrous because we should be throwing all of our efforts into science because science, I mean, look at the average lifespan, for example. It's shot up since the Enlightenment. That's just one example. I could give you a million examples. But also keep in mind the other facet of the conversation we were having, which is that if you get money out of politics, then that very vocal, loud minority, which is now in control, would evaporate.
All right, well said. Well said. Rhea, let's get your final thoughts.
Andrew had a good point about talk radio, and again, I have sort of a personal insight into this. I think that talk radio makes an especially profound impact in small rural areas like the one I'm living in, because around here you get a lot of people that still can't afford their own computer. If they have a computer, then they can't afford to consistently have the internet. And even if they do have the internet, they're not the type of people to be seeking out shows like this one. They might not even read news articles. They might not even consider themselves, news savvy people at all. But what they do have around here is a very convenient avenue through talk radio. They just flip it on in their car on the way to work, and usually in this area you have to commute. So you're in the car for a half an hour, or even an hour and a half, just listening to these people go on about how the liberals are trying to ruin the country and they're trying to take your jobs. And I've tried to find them, but there are no liberal radio talk shows. Not transferable in this area, at least transmittable in this area.
You'll find me on the internet.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you'll find more of that liberal related stuff on the internet, but people around here, they tend to listen to the radio a lot, and what you get on the radio is either Fox News or Rush Limbaugh or Glenn Beck or who's the other one? Michael Savage, Savage Nation.
Mark
Did you
Levin,
mention
right.
Hannity as well?
Sean Hannity, yeah, he's real popular around here. And my second point that I want to make is the religiosity of this country. And I just sort of want to make a personal lament. I'm trying to picture myself talking to my Jehovah's Witness friend who I met a few months ago, and we started in friendly interactions with each other, and I found out she was a Jehovah's Witness, and I was very, very disappointed. She otherwise seems like a normal, thinking, intelligent person. She's been to college, she has a business degree, but she still clings to this religious crap. And I don't want to start off by insulting people who believe in this, because there are good, caring, nice people. I met her because she offered me a ride one day when it was snowing outside. So I know she's a good person. She loves her children. She loves animals. And there are a lot of people who are religious like that out there. But please, stop believing this crap. If you want to believe in a God, that's fine. But do you really want to believe in a God that would tell you to shun your own children for being gay, to deny climate change exists, to deny human responsibility for anything? Would you really want to believe in a God that would allow children to be raped and killed, that would allow for all the atrocities in this world to exist? Either God is all-powerful and he's malicious, or he is not all-powerful, in which case he is not God. Those are the only two conclusions that I've been able to come to. They're the only two conclusions that you can come to. You cannot have a benevolent and all-powerful God with the world the way it is. So, I don't know. I just hope more people begin to open their eyes. I know that the atheist, agnostic, / secular culture has been growing in this country, which I'm very encouraged to see, but we're still the #1 nation in the world whose adult population believes in angels and God. So we still have a long way to go, and I hope that without seeming hateful towards these people, that we can gather them to our side and get them to see that they're really just clinging to hope because they're afraid. And that's what I think it mostly is about for people who believe in religion. It's about fear. So try to get over your fear and put your faith in science, because it's more reliable.
It just still amazes me that there are so many people out there that believe the world is going to end sometime in their lifetimes. And yes, we've had that all throughout history, I know, but it still amazes me. And that those people are actively trying to prevent us, yes, prevent us from protecting our environment. That'd be fine to let them believe what they want to believe if they just got out of our way and let us stop further damage to our climate. Because unlike them, we actually want to have an Earth that is habitable for our children. But with so many of our elected officials actively stopping any legislation to help control our CO2 emissions, and, by the way, getting huge payoffs in the process by, oil, coal, natural gas, all those different industries, and the money that they contribute to politics, as Kyle had pointed out, it's no surprise why researchers come to the conclusion that the U.S. is not going to do anything about climate change. And we're supposed to be a secular country. Yet we do have this small minority of end-timers that are not only in part of our government, but are a major political force in this country. And that really has to change if we're ever going to do anything about saving our environment. And those are my final thoughts.